Hello YouTube, Al here, and this week I want to talk about my Squier Telly. So this is a now modded Sonic series Telecaster, formerly known as the Bullet. This is the lowest end telly you can get. It has a slightly thinner body than a Affinity and every other Telecaster in the world, and I prefer that. I find it really comfortable. The body's made of poplar, I think. The neck is made of maple. It's got the fingerboard glued onto the front, so there's no skunk stripe down the back. It did have everything stock. Then I put Irongears steel foundry pickups in it, the non-overwound version. I did put bent steel saddles on it, and I hated it. I hated the sound. This is also a different scratch plate. So what I've done is I've swapped out the bent steel saddles, which I already had, for some brass ones off eBay, which are about 11 quid. And I've also put on some vintage style Wilkinson tuners. I did not like the stock ones. They felt a bit inaccurate, a bit imprecise, and they felt like they were dampening the guitar. So I'm going to show you a before clip where it has the old tuners and bent steel saddles, and the new clip with these new tuners and these brass saddles. So here you have it. So, as you can hear, with the brass saddles and definitely with the tuners, it sounds really different. Now, when I put these on yesterday evening, it didn't sound like it does this morning, which is ridiculous because, I mean, nothing's changed in that time. So I popped the tuners on, I popped the saddles on at the same time, so the strings are the same strings. I just tuned it up. I roughly got the action right, and I left it overnight for the strings to settle into the tuners, the wraps around the posts. One thing I have to mention is, with the bushings, you might be able to see, I had to pad them out with a wee bit of paper. I will do a proper job. This is to stop them falling out, because these are Clusen converter bushings to go from 10mm to 6mm. Only buy the Clusen ones, don't buy any others, because these have a lip on them, so they look like normal vintage tuners. The other ones are just sort of domed off chrome, and they look chunky and massive, and they look really naff. The Clusen ones I really like. I don't know why they don't exactly fit. I suppose there's slight tolerances on the drill bits they use in the factory. Now, I have also slightly raised the neck pickup. One thing I've noticed is when I did all this, the neck pickup no longer matched the bridge very much, whereas with the bent steel saddles, they seem to match a lot more closely. Maybe that's the zing in the saddles or something. Now I've got the brass saddles on, this bridge pickup is ridiculously loud. I mean, I'm just going to play some rock, so... That's everything on 10. Now the neck. So there's a lot of jangle out of this, but there's so much distortion coming out of this bridge pickup. I think I'm going to lower it a bit, but I'm doing that now so that the comparison we have is pretty like for like. So just load it just a tickle. That sounds better, doesn't it? Still sounds a bit confused. The neck sounds great. So I'm slightly lowering the pickup on that side and raising it on that side. One thing I've noticed is the strings are buzzing more than they used to. So even though the strings are the same, tuning is the same, so the tension should be the same, I'm getting more buzz in this area than I did before, so I may have to adjust the relief, which doesn't make any sense because it's been overnight. Oh, that sounds great. Let's see how they mix in the middle. That sounds great. It's almost like the bridge is too quiet now. I think I'll raise her up just a little bit. Just a ball tickle. Maybe it's too much. I think it's too much on the low strings. Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm quite happy with this. So, my conclusion is the stock pickups, these are Irongears. These are non-overwound Irongear steel foundries. The stock pickups in these are ceramic pickups. They're really chirpy, they're really brittle, they're really bright. The stock capacitor in this, which is still, this is all stock electronics still, that's all brittle, bright sounding capacitor. The old tuners are a zinc pot metal. They're big, heavy, 10mm hole tuners. These are vintage, lighter tuners. These are actually Wilkinson tuners. Saddles that came on this were zinc block style. I think all this low quality hardware was peeling off all of the top end that you have in the ceramic pickups. So if you have a Squier and it has the stock pickups and the zinc saddles, if you're going to change the pickups, you're going to notice how dull the guitar sounds. It's going to sound better because there's more dynamics in the pickup and it's going to be more woody and fluty. Reasonable pickups are going to add more dynamics and more body and more depth to the sound. But when you do that, you're throwing the algorithm off. So you need to remember that it's going to nudge you probably further away from where you think you might go. It's not just you're adding bass, you're messing up everything else. So just adding the saddles with the stock pickups, it's going to be outrageously bright. It's going to sing louder, it's probably going to sound better. I didn't like the steel saddles at all. They were far too zingy. As soon as they went on, I thought I'm going to have to get these off. But these brass saddles, they have a rounder, smoother top end that I really prefer. Maybe it's something to do with the maple neck, because that's more of a 50s thing, and they had brass saddles in the 50s. Maybe if I had a rosewood neck telly, I'd prefer the steel saddles. Who knows? But certainly I think this formula, the nicer pickups with the brass saddles, and certainly the tuners make it feels lighter. It feels like it balances better, and it feels like it resonates a bit freer. I certainly think this formula suits this guitar better. So there you have it. I may experiment with different capacitors, and I may just swap out the whole electronics at a later date. But for now, I'm a hell of a lot happier with this guitar than I was 24 hours ago. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you prefer steel saddles on your Telecaster? And what pickups does it have? And what tuners does it have? Because I'm certain that tuners make a difference. I've done it on a Les Paul. I'm certain that tuners make a difference, because this has made the same difference to, not the same amount, but it's made the same difference to this than happened with the Les Pauls. Let me know in the comments what do you think, and I'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.